City News. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, in Accra. My name is Salom Adonu. Tonight I'm here with
Akusia Oche.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes.
Even if you look at his choice of running mate, he could not get somebody that one could say that, look, they are planning for the future. The person is over 70 years. You have no succession plan.
Majority leader sparked storm in Parliament today while concluding his debate on the State of the Nation address by the president over what the minority caucus deemed an attack on the personality of the running mate of the NDC, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyemang. We'll tell you more of what happened, even though the majority leader apologized later. Also coming up, police in the Ashanti region arrest 5 individuals for allegedly assaulting fire officers who were responding to a fire outbreak at a racecourse market earlier today. We'll find out why people will want to attack officers on a rescue mission. Still on Eyewitness News, John Mahama, flag bearer for the National Democratic Congress, to outdoor his manifesto for election 2024 by mid-year. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Ghana Real Estate Development Association GREDA raises concerns over sustainability of unified cement pricing.
There is more business in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates and around the globe at citynewsroom.com. In the Western region, this is Adwinpa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady, Sky Power 93.5 FM in Takrady as well. In the Bono region, this is Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, Adwinpa 99.9 FM in Nkawie. In the Volta region, this is Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoe and Freedom 88.1 FM in Sugakofe. In the Northern region, this is Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the Upper East, Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. And in the Northeast, this is Nobia FM on 98.1 megahertz at Narelugu. You can follow the comments or the conversation via your comments, which are welcome via our WhatsApp line 0549986996, and you can follow me on X at Selomadunu. The hashtag, as always, is City Newsroom. Akusua gives us our first story.
The majority leader in Parliament, Alexander Apenyo-Markin, has stated that John Dramani Mahama's selection of Nana Jane Opoku Agyemang reflects the NDC's lack of succession planning and visionary leadership. He said this during the debate on the State of the Nation address. All the statement later incited anger among minority members, prompting the Speaker to agenda setting for an hour. Let's listen to the remarks made by the Efutu MP.
Is it the same old NDC? Is it the same old John Mahama? Mr. Speaker, perish the thought. Perish the thought. Should he even get the opportunity? He has only 4 years constitutionally. Mr. Speaker, there will be no sense of urgency in him because he has nothing to lose. Even if you look at his choice of running mate, he could not get somebody that one could say that, look, they are planning for the future. The person is over 70 years. You have no succession plan. Mr. Speaker, from day one, the government will be in crisis. Mr. Speaker, from day one, their government will be in crisis. Mr. Speaker, they want to pick the very old person who could not perform at the education ministry, who could not
So those were bites from the floor of Parliament after the Majority Leader Alexander Peña-Markin made that statement. Now let's hear from the Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodombre, who also addressed journalists, urging the minority to enhance their sense of tolerance.
If you have listened to the SONA debate, unless you don't want to speak the truth or addresses as such, consistently and repeatedly, our colleagues have been coming after our flag bearer, Dr. Bawumia. None of them spoke without referencing Dr. Bawumia. Making all sort of aspersions and allegations against him. We heard him. The minority leader himself also did it. He did say, you can go for the hazard and look at it. The countless multiple times he attacked the minority leader. What did the majority leader say? He said that we've had enough of Dr. Bawumia, and it's the same people. Our colleagues should also learn to be tolerant. They should up their sense of tolerance. When Atuforsen and Co were speaking, we all listened to them. Assuming without admitting that the majority leader has said something which borders on a personal attacks on Prof, that's not how to go about it. But we will be kind enough. And that is how democratic we are. We always show the way. If it is the case that the mention of Prof and her age is their problem, we will depart from there. But the facts will be told. The story will be told. The abysmal performance of John Mahama and the administration, that will continue to expose that. Let nobody begin any crusade that we went on a viral attack on womanhood. That we will never do.
That was Frank Anodombre, his Majority Chief Whip. Meanwhile, the Majority Leader, Alexander Peña-Markin, after pressure by the minority to retract his comments, apologized.
Before I take my time, I believe that when we went into conclave, colleagues expressed a concern about the issue of age. So, Mr. Speaker, the submission was to the effect that our opponent don't have a clear succession plan for the future, not to denigrate their running mate on the basis of age. So I withdraw that aspect of the submission that referred to an age as a basis of my contention.
That was Majority Leader Alexander Peña-Markin.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now let's speak to the minority who were riled up by the comments by the Majority Leader, Peña-Markin, Alexander Peña-Markin. It take us quite a bit of time. We're used to Alexander Peña-Markin as Majority Leader. The Honorable Abla Difa-Goma, she is Parliament for Ketu South, and she spoke to the press on why they were not happy with the comments by the Majority Leader. Let's speak to her and understand why they should get so angry and unhappy about the reference to somebody's age, when indeed that is a fact that the vice presidential candidate of the NDC or the running mate is above 70. Hello, good evening, ma'am. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Why should a comment about the age of a candidate rile you up so much that, Parliament will have to suspend sitting?
Well, good evening and thank you very much. The Majority Leader has taken some wind from under my sail by apologizing, by retracting, even though it didn't come across as an apology, at least he retracted it. But our reason for getting so upset, Salom, is that in my language, which is over, meaning that from the old, we tie our strings, the young tie their strings to the old so that we learn from them. Now, if you have a president, our current president, who is over 80 years.
No, he actually turns 80 later this month.
Yes. So, old was he when he contested. Do you see? So if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. And coming at the back of International Women's Day, when we are saying that the numbers we have of women who sit around the table, women who climb the ladder to the decision-making table, we are in the minority. And we are asking that you empower us and support us to achieve the heights that this illustrious woman Professor Nana Jane, who was the first vice chancellor of UCC. I think that no other woman had achieved in this country till she did. A woman who is a member of the African Studies Association, a woman who represented us at UNESCO, who received the Order of the Volta for academic distinction. For you to, he didn't. You see, what Afanya did was not just to say that she's 70, but I think that if you go back and listen to the whole thing, he went on, and the more we said that this is wrong, the more energized he was. And Afanya will admit, if he calls him now, that I always sent him personal messages when he does well on the floor. Where did he learn it from, if not from the old? Where did Afanya learn how to be a member of parliament and to stand on his feet and argue succinctly? Actually, where did he learn it from? When did age become such an issue that he had to descend on the woman? And you see, if you look in our standing orders, it says in 1, 2, 3, content of speech. And on point 6, it says the speech of a member shall be relevant to the subject matter under discussion. We were discussing the State of the Nation's address. How is Professor Nana Jane's age? What does it do in that State of the Nation's address? And why is her role now as our flag bearer such an issue that he should be spent heavily on it, if not for an agenda that he wants to set? You see, he knows I like him personally, meaning Afanya Makin, but I will not allow him to speak down to any woman in that chamber, especially Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. My late mother, bless her soul wherever she is, she only attended, the highest she went to was convent school. And she said to me that I should watch other women who have done better than she did. Who else to look up to than Professor Nana Jane, who has achieved so much in his life?
I see.
How many women can see? If you count 10 women in this country, how many of them can equal Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman?
I see. But how about people who think that the NDC are just getting emotional about this subject? I mean, indeed, Parliament is a crucible of heated debate. And in debates, I mean, we say all sorts of things. And once you cannot say that reference to the age of the venerable professor is an insult, people think that this should pass for fair comment, shouldn't it? Especially as we have a president who turns 80. So instead of getting angry, you have to extol her positives, like we just done. First vice chancellor of a public university of Ghana, this and that, education minister, she did ABC. Instead of getting angry, you also get up and you extol her achievement so that the age wouldn't be an issue, because we have a president who is turning 80 and a running mate of a candidate who is just 72. So instead of getting angry, throw in the positives to show her up. How about that?
So, Salam, let me help you. I contributed to the debate on the State of the Nation's address. We are paid, the speaker goes to speak. And then after we have all spoken, the leadership now gives a summary. So today is the end. When they speak, we don't get up to speak. In any case, there's nothing wrong with us getting upset or getting angry, as you want to put it, when somebody has said something on the floor and we are displeased about it. It is my duty. It is the duty of any woman who felt offended to speak on any platform to register our disgust and our disapproval of anybody who seeks to. And you see, it wasn't just her age. He went on to say something about when he's not having a session plan. That's the whole party he's putting in disrepute.
Yes, but
putting in a place where to be ridiculed.
Yes, but that is politics, is it not? Because that is politics. Because it's their job to say that the NDC doesn't have a plan, the NDC doesn't have vision, the NDC doesn't have a succession plan.
And is it not my job as a woman to also defend another woman who is being denigrated? It is my job too. And you see, this is my idol. This is a woman that I love from the bottom of my heart. This is a woman, if you call her, I'm sure she'll confirm this to you. This is a woman who inspires me to achieve the highest that I can. It is my duty to speak for her because she was not in the chamber to speak for herself. And if I feel so passionate about it, there's absolutely nothing wrong to speak about it. And there's nothing wrong with Antonio also exercising his leadership role, there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of democracy that you speak something about my party and my flag, my running mate. It is my duty to speak up.
So
and I'm saying that it was wrong for him to call the whole party and say that we do not have a succession plan. How dare when you talk like that? It may be politics, but it is the reason why I'm speaking with you now, so that we are guarded. Listen, this is the same woman we had as running mate, and I know some leaders of this MPP party in the Ashanti region who spoke such vile things about this woman.
Hello, I think the line got problematic somewhere along the line. Can you hear me, Honorable Ablaji Gomashi?
It shouldn't happen.
Yes.
It shouldn't happen.
Yes. Very well. So now I think he's retracted a comment. What happens from here? All right, I think we lost the Honorable Ablaji Gomashi. She wanted to find out from her what happens from here. The majority leader, as you just heard in that clip, retracted. But in the meantime, some of you have been sending messages in respect of this matter. Says, I don't think the age of someone who has been chosen by the former president John Mahama to partner him should be an issue. Jones at Dubois in La says, good evening, Salom. Those unguided comments by the majority leader were rather unfortunate. The integrity of Professor Jenano Pokajiman is unquestionable, and no amount of name calling by the majority can change her impeccable record. You say Ghanaians are not angry enough. Alex Kofi Yaireni at Denta Commando says MPP at it again, and this time around it started from Parliament to attack NDC running mate because they have no one to compare this fine lady to. We have the Honorable Ablaji Gomashi back on the line for her concluding comments on this interview. Honorable, so I wanted to find out from you, now that the majority leader has retracted, where do we go from here? Is it a case that any time anybody brings up the issue of the professor's age, then there's an issue? Where do we go from here?
Oh, no. I mean, this is not just about age. It's the context and all the other things that leaders sought to do. And Salom, let me use your platform to send this caution. We, the women of Ghana, we, the women of Ghana, we will not tolerate anybody running one of the few who have dared to achieve what we want, to bring them down with language that is not edifying, that is not celebratory, that is not empowering. We will not sit down and have that happen, because there are too few women who have dared to do the things that we want to emulate. So if we sit down and have people throw stones anyhow at them, why would any young person be inspired to do that? Because when you get that fight, that doesn't even matter. Is that what we're saying? So my reaction is not just about Professor Nana Jane's age. It's the way in which, from when she was selected the first time to what my leader did today, it's not acceptable. It's not just about the age. Because as you and I have agreed, Nado Dankwa Akufo-Addo, our president, he's older. Is he not still leading this country? All this that he's done abysmally, should we say that we should clear him off and call him all kinds of things because he's over 80? No. All I'm saying is that people should be guarded and watch their tongue when they're speaking about Professor Nana Jane, because I will not take it sitting down. I think that it's unfair.
Very well.
It's unfair. It's not right. It is not right.
Very well.
It is not right. It's culturally unacceptable. It's professionally unacceptable, and also in that chamber, even when we're doing politics, let's be guarded how we do the politics. Let's be guarded how we do the politics. When he does right, Afeni knows that I sent him messages. When I think that he's gone too far, I sent messages. Today, I didn't even send him any message. I wanted to just deal with it there and then.
Very well.
He had gone overboard.
So in essence, Afenyo crossed a red line, and you will not take that from him.
He did. Yes, on this account, he did.
Very well. Thanks so much.
On this account, he did.
Very well. Thanks so much, the Honourable Ablaji Gomashi, Member of Parliament for Ketu South. She took serious exceptions, as you just heard, to the comments by the Honourable Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo Marking in terms of how he referred to the NDC running the Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. More messages. Alex Duane in London says, reckless statement from the majority leader. Abi National in WA says, there are all indications that the majority leader is confused and doesn't know what to say because his government has failed. Amisko Spelele in Kaswa Republic says, undoubtedly the appointment of Professor Jainan Opoku-Agyeman by His Excellency John Mahama will be a true reflection of the 2020 elections. In fact, Dr. Bawumia will win come December 2024 to continue to move Ghana forward. Hashtag it is possible. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break. When we return, we will go to Kumasi. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Chane Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz. And he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Recoded to do more with ease. The enhanced GCB mobile app. Download now from Google Play Store or Apple Store for all your transactions. Smooth, safe, and secure. Chale, tap the app. You don't need to have an account to upgrade. GCB mobile app. Recoded to do more. Upgrade your style. GCB Bank. Your bank for life.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Now, the minority in Parliament is urging the government to promptly allocate funds for the construction of the 100-bed Shama Government Hospital. The project, funded by a €32 million loan facility approved by Parliament in March 2020, has experienced delays in funding allocation. President Akufo-Addo on August 19, 2020, initiated processes for the commencement of the hospital's construction. However, progress has been impeded by the lack of funding. Or during a media engagement following a visit by the construction workers, the Manke member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Dr. Kwabena Mintakando, underscored the minority's commitment to advocating for the completion of the project.
For the past 4 years, the minister responsible for health has not come to the floor of the House to even give us the status of Shama district hospitals. And for me, that is quite disrespectful. And so we are sending clear signal, clear warning to the president, the vice president, that not until they commence, complete, and put to good use the Shama district hospital, will be here on several occasions. This is not going to be a 9-day wonder. And you know how we do our work in Parliament. We will be here till this hospital has seen the light of day. It is not for me to come and incite the people of Sama against the people of La Enid environs. Whatever we did for them to get the contractor on site, and now contractors are on site, we shall do same for you. It is a government who must come and construct our hospitals for us. And so whatever it is, the people of Sama are also Ghanaians. They deserve better, and the Sama District Hospital must commence with immediate effect.
Kwabena Mintakando is a ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament. Now, the management of the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, CATH, is raising an alarm over congestion in the hospital. They express concerns that insufficient space is adversely impacting the quality of care provided to patients. In an interview with Citi News, the Public Relations Officer for CATH, Kwame Frimpong, indicated that the situation is escalating, with the hospital finding it difficult to accommodate the growing number of patients.
CATH has always been about the most congested tertiary facility in the country, because we have for some time now exceeded our capacity due to lack of space. And so congestion is not something that is new. I mean, it's always been with us for a while now. And it's so because of the fact that we are located in about the most populous region in Ghana. They do not have the complementary facilities that will support the Komfo-Anokye Hospital in delivering tertiary health care. So almost every case that requires specialist and tertiary health intervention ends up at this facility. And given that we have a fixed capacity, no matter how we've tried over the years to add best onto the existing space, the problem has not been solved. Kwelebu has support from other facilities, because, for instance, UGMC, RAGE, 37 Military Hospital, the Medina Hospital, some of the cases that are done at Kwelebu, if you go there and that space that is being used for the delivery of that service is full, and you are turned away, you have alternatives. That's when it comes to Asante region. If you turn a patient away from Komfo-Anokye, there's no alternative. And so we are compelled to admit those patients, and that is the leading cause of the congestion that we are witnessing at the hospital.
He also believes that expanding the hospital and completing existing projects in the region would alleviate the pressure on the hospital.
Just as has been done in Greater Accra, a region with the same population as Asante region, just one hospital providing tertiary health care is simply not practical. It is impossible for this hospital to conveniently bear this burden. For work to be excited on the existing first hospitals that are nearing completion, like Military Hospital, like the Seua, which is going to be the Asante Regional Hospital, and other district hospitals that are in their final phase of construction. The work needs to be expedited so that these hospitals can take some of the burden of Komfo-Anokye. If that's not done, nobody in this hospital can promise you that it has the capacity to shoulder this huge burden that has been trusted on us. It's not possible. The congestion will continue to be a daily occurrence until this hospital is expanded and the other hospitals are completed and other existing ones are upgraded. That's the solution.
Kwame Frimpong is a public relations officer for management of the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital in the Ashanti region. Now let's go back to politics, because the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has revealed intentions to launch the party's manifesto prior to the 2024 general elections, expectedly by mid-year. While the party has already outlined crucial components of its policy documents, including the proposal of a 24-hour economy, the discontinuation of ex gratia payments, and the initiation of a program for exporting nurses to address unemployment, among other things. While speaking to stakeholders during the Building the Ghana We Want tour, John Dramani Mahama conveyed optimism regarding the manifesto's potential to foster socio-economic progress.
The next major item on our political calendar is our manifesto. And we had a policy dialogue at Privasi where the main issues were fleshed out by the group that we call the LAB. And so once we've done that fleshing out and we've actually finished the Building Ghana form, they're going to put all the points together. And we're hoping that before the middle of the year, we should be able to launch the manifesto. And then after that, we'll launch the campaign officially. And then it means that all the starters gun has been fired. and we're going to go all out. We're going to go door to door. We're going to go kitchen to kitchen, bedroom to bedroom, to preach the message that we have. Some issues of policy have come out already, and they have filtered onto the ground, and they've been accepted popularly by the people. For instance, the 24-hour economy. And so as executives, we've put enough information out there. We have the FAQs, frequently asked questions. All of you must get a copy and read through it, so that anywhere you go and you're asked about the 24-hour economy, you're able to explain it and explain it properly, so that we don't keep giving conflicting messages.
Now, John Mahama also charged the party to exude vigilance in the 2024 general elections to prevent irregularities.
One of the key things in this election is going to be vigilance. We can do all the campaigning we want on the day. If we are not vigilant and we don't cover every single polling station with eagle eyes, you do all the campaigning you can, beautiful campaign, razzmatazz, and at the end you will not achieve the objective that you want. And so Greater Accra particularly, we want you to cover your polling stations with the best party agents. The election directorate, you are aware, is conducting some exercises. They've been conducting exams for election directors in the constituencies and the regions, because we need the best people who understand the electoral system to be able to monitor the elections in the region.
John Dramani Mahama is flag bearer of the opposition party National Democratic Congress. Now to the Ashanti region, the police have picked up 5 persons following an alleged attack on fire officers who were responding to a fire outbreak at the racecourse market on Monday. Currently, 1 fire officer has sustained injuries as a result of the attack. All the suspects who accused the team of arriving late pelted stones at the fighters. All the fire, which started at about 1 a.m. on Monday, swept through a section of the racecourse market where millers operate. Traders who sell foodstuff and other ingredients were also victims of the fire. Now, Fire Commander for the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital Fire Station DO3, Simon Benboedu, attributed the spread of the fire to the attack on the fire crew.
Unfortunately, we were met with an attack by some guys, which delayed the process of fighting the fire. We were able to calm our nerves down, so we started the firefighting within some minutes after the attack. But we were able to apprehend some 5 of these attackers, and they are currently at the police custody, both at the police post at Racecourse here, and 2 have been sent to the Swami police station, which we want to promise your cherished viewers that we're going to pursue this to the latter, and whatever happens to them will be a deterrent to others, that the attack of firemen must stop.
You heard the fire commander for the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital Fire Station in the Ashanti region, DO3, Simon Benboedu.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now, the Ghana National Fire Service is not happy, obviously, about the fact that their men were attacked. The national office thinks that they have to be protected and they will not countenance any such attacks from the public. Its public affairs, the member of the public affairs unit of the Ghana National Fire Service, Alex Nate, has joined us on the line to help us appreciate their position better. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Is it a case, or do we have a trend emerging where fire officers are attacked by members of the public, or this is just an isolated case?
Good evening to yourself and to your good listeners. It's just a very worrying trend for some time now, less than 2 months. We've had a series of attacks ranging from Konongo, especially prevalent in the Ashanti region and even in the Chedi area. And so a few weeks ago, we came up with decisive directives that we're going to come hard at people and blacklist areas that are fond of destroying our, of assaulting our men and destroying our fire tender. Mind you, we always talk about the fact that our fire tenders are not enough and that we are woefully under-resourced. Our men that our personnel are very much important to us, and it's our utmost priority to protect them. So we had to take a decisive action that will blacklist areas that are fond of attacking our men, so that we're able to protect our men and better serve those who rather need our services.
But it's quite unusual that fire officers who are on a rescue mission will be attacked by persons they are helping. So why do you think these attacks are coming from Hwidiem, Konongo, like you said, and a few other places? Why are we beginning to see this trend?
You see, it's as I said, it's a worrying trend where people think that we should automatically know when there's a fire. This incident happened, the fire we're talking about happened around 1 a.m. We received a call imagine a call. It was a random call where someone drove into our station at Komfanochi to report the fire. And our men had to be within 1 minute. In less than 10 minutes, I think within 5 minutes, within 2 minutes, they even arrived at the scene. They got there and then the people started attacking them, but they came late. Mind you, there's a difference between the time the fire started and the time the Ghana National Fire Service was called upon. People would always say, we've called on the Ghana National Fire Service, and ask them, what number did you call? People will mention our previous numbers, 999, 111, which are not our numbers. And it becomes a very worrying trend. So we are really coming down hard on people who feel that they can take the fire service for granted. Mind you, we don't buy appliances. We don't buy the tools we work with. We've always said that we are under-resourced. For about 15 years, fire service has not received a single fire tender from anyone. And our appliances are broken down so woefully. And you see, the assemblies are not prioritizing fire stations or their safety as they do with security. So you realize that for some areas, you don't have fire stations, and so if there's any fire situation, the car would have to come all the way from a very far distance. So with a situation like this, if they had even a working hydrant, when our first appliance arrived at the scene, they would have probably connected their hoses to the hydrant and be assured of constant supply, but they had to call on reinforcement from 2 other fire stations. That is our metro office and then our office at Minchia. And so it's a worrying trend, and we hope that people will rather direct their frustration to government and to their assemblies that they need fire stations and that they need to be protected. So when our men arrive at the scene, if not for the hindrances or the attacks on them, they would have fought the fire and put the fire well under control much longer. But there were some people who were saying that because their shops were burnt, they want other shops to burn. That was also part of the reasons they were attacking our men and preventing them from performing their duty, which is a very serious offense, preventing an officer of the law from performing his lawful duty. So we are going to clamp hard on them. And this arrest is just the tip of the iceberg. We'll come hard at anyone who tries to attack firefighters.
I see. But this is not the first time this has happened. It's happened in Hwidiem, you said Konongo, and a few other places. What did you do in those situations? In the Hwidiem case, for example, or in the Kumasi or Konongo case, almost in all the cases, police came in to arrest people and all of that. What has happened to the arrests? Did we see the arrests go to prosecution and to the very end, or they were just left on the hook at some point? What have you been doing about it so far?
You see, once we hand the case over to the police, it's up to the police to carry out investigations to help us take the final action against them. You know how the legal system is, and then the way investigations are. And also, I always put the blame also on the leaders of some of these communities. These leaders sit on unconcerned when people meet attacks on our men. And these same leaders will be the ones who come back and be begging and be pleading with authorities to let go of these culprits. And so it has been a very worrying situation where, justice comes into contact with interferences from people who are supposed to know better and supposed to put their people in check. So I would say with all those other cases, investigations are underway, are still ongoing. Some people have been arrested and actions are being taken on different levels as it stands now.
I see. Will you attribute some of this to? Of course, it's criminal to do what people do, but will you attribute some of this to lack of proper education? Maybe they don't know how the fire service works. For example, you have to be called usually before you come, and maybe if you educate them better, the public will know that this is how you work. You don't have machines, you don't have fire tenders, you don't have this, and so the public's expectation of you will be a bit toned down. Do you think more education will help the situation?
We've been a lot of the media houses would bear witness to the fact that we've been very aggressive with our education. If you go on our Facebook page, you'd see a lot of stories about educational campaigns and then safety campaigns with a backbone. But I think it's as a people generally in Ghana, people prioritize their security more than their safety. So often you hear people say that thieves are disturbing us or thieves are worrying us, so we need police stations. But you never hear people saying that fires are disturbing us, so we need fire stations. So when people call for police stations, they should do what to call for fire stations. You see, as a classic example is here in Accra. As I speak right now, our plants at Amasaman and Abilimpi are out of commission. So if there's any fire within the Achimota enclave, Dome enclave, we are in trouble. The car would have to come from our national headquarters at Dankwa Circle to attend to the fire there. So until people realize and put pressure on the assemblies, because mind you, the whole stretch from Achimota through Dome to Taifa, there's no single fire station there, which is a very worrying situation. You know, because the priorities of the assembly is geared more at security, which is fair. But then it's important to find a fine balance between the security and the safety. So as a people, it's just attitude now. We've been embarking on education, letting people understand, for them to appreciate. But it looks like they just want to do it because they feel that we don't use weapons. So they show that we are the ones you can easily pick on. But mind you, if a fireman should slap you, you might go into coma. Because we don't use weapons, our power is in our hands. So we exercise restraints whenever we go for firefighting. So the fact that we exercise restraints does not give people the permission to take us for a ride, thinking that we are pushovers.
I see. We hear you, and we empathize with you in this particular circumstance. Let me give you the opportunity to put out your numbers so that people won't be calling 111 and 999 thinking that they are calling the fire service and be blaming you for coming late. What are the numbers we can reach you on?
Okay, so our emergency numbers 112 and 192. We have other lines that we put out there. You know, this is the toll-free line. The 192 and 112 are the toll-free lines that are out there that people can easily call. But the problem is that prank calls has been a problem for us. So when you call, you might not probably get through because there might be other people on the line and its ends are being choked. So we have another landline that you can call. That goes straight to our control room, 0302 772 446. Once you call that number, or even as on air right now, you can even do a test. Call that number and you'll be assured that someone will definitely pick up the call and talk to you in a nice way. And we'd also encourage people that get to know the fire stations closest to you. Then try and get their numbers handy so that in case of emergencies, you can directly call that fire station responsible for your area for them to quickly respond to you. And so, again, in conclusion, I want to make a passionate appeal to government that as much as they are concentrating on our other security brothers and sisters, they should concentrate on the fire service also because fires are worrying. We record no less than 20 fires in Accra and Tema alone daily, which is very threatening. And it becomes a problem when the appliance has to travel for a very far distance to be able to cover a fire. So we would ask people that, why do you fear the one that you can negotiate with? If thief will come, steal a few things, you can beg him for your life, he won't take your home away. But the fire, you can't beg. He would come, burn everything away, and once he has burnt your house, your building is compromised. You'd have to pull the building down. So why do you fear the one that you can negotiate with, who will not take away all your property, as compared to the one that you can't negotiate with? So please, as a people, let's all come together in a concerted effort to ask government to resource the fire service so that we can be able to better serve people. Kaswa in Wager, for instance, there's no fire tender there because all their fire tenders are out of commission. So once there's a fire at Kaswa, the car comes either from Budumburam or Anya Market, and we are sitting on a time bomb vaccination. So we would ask that attention should be placed on the government. And a big area like East Legon, Ajengano, East Legon Hills, there's no single fire station there. So when there's a fire, the appliance moves all the way from University of Ghana or Medina to go to fire there. So let's all prioritize fire, because until we do that as a people, we'll keep recording disasters like this always.
Very well. Thanks so much for speaking to us on this matter. Alex Nate is a member of the Public Affairs Unit at the Ghana National Fire Service. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Akusha gives us some more stories.
Apostle Lillian Kuma, the wife of late Deputy Finance Minister and Member of Parliament for Ejisu John Kuma, has emphatically stated that her husband did not die from food poisoning, contrary to reports in sections of the media. Now, instead, she clarified that her husband courageously battled a severe illness for over a year. Speaking in an interview with Assassin News, Apostle Lillian Kuma said her husband had been battling with a terminal disease for a year since it was discovered by his doctors in Germany, and that is what her husband succumbed to last week.
In fact, that aspect saddens me more than even his dismay, because I believe he's with God. Even if he's not here in body, I still believe he's alive, and definitely everything will go on. But the way they are speculating about his death is really unfortunate and it's discouraging. Minimi kuno said the American and I see Yari by Mina Menina call Germany. But I could pray. You mean Dr. Bianca and Cheremita. Surprising by Kumpa Kumikun Mujem. You mean say Yadia and your diagnosis. We around August. And I hear Chira Niaku. Be me, day one, I've been a part of the medical team, both Germany and this place. Obien will catch them with that say a poison. No medical reports I will have, both from Germany and this country. You can't poison yourself. But me, my emphatia, any per se, the two. Papa wa bobra, 45 years now. Omukan just you know. John has lived more than some 90 years. Omunya better opportunity in life than him. So I won't say what is not there. As far as I'm concerned, my husband was sick. I know the sickness. I won't lie, and that's what I know. It killed him. So if anybody know anything, I want to know.
That was Apostle Lillian Kuma. She's wife of the late Deputy Finance Minister and a Member of Parliament for Ejisu John Kuma. Now, the Kumasi chapter of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers of Ghana has given the government and the Finance Ministry an April 30 ultimatum to pay all accrued funds and welfare dues owed its members. The coalition is unhappy about the government's continuous delay in releasing the funds and blames the government's haircut program for the delay, thus plunging many teachers into financial difficulties. Speaking to Citi News, the chairman of the coalition, Godfred Ansah, called on the government to expedite the release of all arrears.
Barely 1.5 years, government has been downplaying with our welfare. So when he deducts our dues that we have authorized the controller to do it on behalf of the union, he doesn't do as we have accorded him to do. Why? The Controller and Accountant General is a accountant for the government of Ghana. So the authority that we have authorized him to do, that when he takes the money, both the welfare and our mutual funds, instead of it to release the money to us to do whatever we want to do with it, it doesn't release them on time. As we speak now, the government is owing almost all the third parties. It's owing us for almost 5 to 6 months now. And we are asking that every arrears that exists in his bosom, he should kindly release them to us as soon as possible. During the engagement with the IMF, the minister came out and said there will be haircut. This haircut We didn't understand how the haircut will be, whether it be a down sweat or a punk or whatever haircut, we don't know. But we have come to realize that the haircut has rather gone to affect us. We have seen that because he said the haircut, why our monies are not being released to us on time. We don't want the children to suffer. The candidates and the final year students will prepare themselves for exams. And those two who are in Form 2 and Form 1 and the basic 2, we know what to do.
Godfred Maktete and Science, chairman of the Kumasi chapter of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers of Ghana. Now, the Human Rights Division of the High Court today adjourned the case involving the Office of the Special Prosecutor and former Secretary of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Charles Bisu, to April 17, 2024. This is because the case is yet to be assigned to a new judge following the retirement of Justice Nicholas Abudakpi, the judge who presided over the matter. The case was earlier adjourned on February 21 due to similar concerns, but when the parties appeared in court today, they were informed that the case has still not been assigned. The case involves a judicial review application where Charles Bisu is asking the court to, among other things, quash an arrest warrant issued against him by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The case will be heard on April 17, 2024.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. A number of your messages have been coming through. This one from Prince Henry in Koforidia says, the attack on fire officers is becoming unbecoming, and it's good the police have apprehended some of those thugs. The law must deal with them very well. This government must also equip the fire officers very adequately to enable them work efficiently. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break. When we return, bring you City Business News. No go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz. And he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman Omani. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer. Ghana must grow. Boss. KB, yo. Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Oh, wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News and Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. I am Akusia Ocho. Let's settle for details of the stories. The Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Development Association, Greda Sami Amegaibo, has raised doubts about the availability of a unified cement pricing scheme to help reduce the price of cement. Well, this is on the back of plans by the government to implement a unified cement pricing scheme to regulate the cost of the product on the market. All cement manufacturers fail to publish the recommended distribution and retail prices of the various grades of the product, prompting the Minister of Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond, to set a 1-month timeline for the introduction of a mechanism. However, Samia Megaibo insists he doubts this will ensure fairness and eliminate instances where consumers are shortchanged.
For us as industry or consumers of cement, our number one interest is to have cement at affordable price as much as possible. And if you listen to the cement manufacturers and what they talk about as hindrances, it is mostly external forces and taxes. And so if external forces and taxes are the major reason why cement prices are where they are, I'm not too sure whether unifying the prices is going to solve anything. In any case, we are operating a free market economy, and I'm not too sure whether the minister has any powers to regulate the prices of cement. So I don't know whether unifying the prices is going to bring those that are selling it at a lower price to come and meet those at the upper price, or those at the upper price will be forced to go down. If it is about prices of cement, we have to tackle the fundamentals, just like the cost of freight by the importers, the cost of demurrage, and then the international prices themselves, the dollar-CD exchange rate. These are some of the things that the manufacturers keep complaining about. Even nothing has been done in that area. Unifying the prices, for me, I don't see where to bring prices down.
That was Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Development Association, Greda Sami Amegaibo. Now, a financial markets lawyer, John Amable, has dragged the government to the Supreme Court over its issuance of treasury bills and other financial instruments without parliamentary approval. In a writ, the private legal practitioner is seeking reliefs, if granted, could significantly impact the current processes for issuing treasury bills and government bonds, as well as the Bank of Ghana's ability to finance government expenditure. Among his reliefs include a declaration that existing treasury bills and other debt instruments are illegal in accordance with the Public Financial Management Act and the Bank of Ghana Act. He also wants the Supreme Court to direct the government to submit key terms such as interest rates for its future issuances to Parliament for prior approval for fiscal governance and accountability. Well, for the plaintiff, unchecked government borrowing could have adverse effects, including high inflation, increased taxes, and potential losses for investors. Now, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is set to begin a nationwide registration of all farmers from tomorrow, March 12, following the implementation of the second phase of the Planting for Food and Jobs program. Now, the PFJ Phase 2, launched in August last year, is aimed at providing an input credit system for farmers in the bid to resolve access to credit challenges that faced Phase 1 of the program. Speaking at a press briefing today, the Sector Minister, Dr. Brian Champong, urged farmers across the country to partake in the registration yet to begin.
The farmer registration, PFJ, will be conducted across the 16 regions and 261 districts in Ghana. And that process starts tomorrow. To facilitate the process, a mobile and web application platform, which is the Ghana Agriculture and Agribusiness Platform, GAP.com, GHAAP.com, has been developed. Additionally, agricultural extension agents and other technical officers have been trained on how to use the platform and provided with the necessary tablets and data to capture every farmer that we are going to onboard for the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2 program. I'd like to emphasize that the Planting for Food and Jobs program is a carefully thought through initiative designed to build on the successes of the initial program whilst addressing the limitations that program encountered. We are committed as a ministry to ensuring the successful implementation of this transformative approach to empower our farmers, enhance productivity, and foster sustainable agricultural development.
Dr. Brian Champong speaking there, he's Minister of Food and Agriculture. Now, the women's wing of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry is urging government to lead a charge in encouraging young women aiming to be professionals in the construction space. The group admitted some challenges, including gender bias and limited access to opportunities, which hamper the growth of the sector, but added that such barriers could be curbed with the right policy to enhance inclusivity. Here's a chairperson for the Women in Construction Industry Services, Joanna Ajay.
Government to take interest in training these young women, and again also to take interest, to take awareness and then promote them, provide training and then mentorship for these young women so that they will also become interested in this and know the native profession. Again, I also encourage the young ladies that they should forget about this is a man's job and this is a woman's job. All what I want to tell them that what a man can do, the woman also can do it. The only thing is to set up your mind, your mindset that I want to be there. And definitely you can be there. Naturally, God created the women differently and the men differently because of the childbirth and then home care and so forth and so on. But as I have said, I am a contractor. I've been a contractor for a long time.
Joanna Ajay is a chairperson for the Women in Construction Industry Services, a group under the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry. Finally, in a bid to fortify investor confidence and market integrity, the Securities and Exchange Commission is set to introduce an advanced complaint management system. This system will empower businesses, investors, and market players to proactively report suspicious activities. Speaking on the sidelines of the commissioning of the newly refurbished neurosurgery unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Head of Communications and External Affairs, Dr. Godwin Ansah, expressed the Commission's commitment to fostering a secure financial landscape.
The SEC is coming out with also an improved complaint management system. We also work hand in hand with also law enforcement agencies and, more importantly, members of the general public. So with such a complaint management system, customers, investors, various stakeholders in the market can proactively reach out to the SEC and report issues of suspicious activities in the market and also potential breaches by market operators. So we very much rely on members of the general public, on investors out there to be able to use the system so that we can work hand in hand in protecting investors.
That was the Head of Communications and External Affairs at the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Godwin Ansah. Well, that's it for City Business News and the Eyewitness News. The business news was brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan made that big move and dream a reality. I am Akosia Ochedu. Stay with us. Up next is Point Blank.
Hello, Linda. You won't believe what I am planning next. I want to start my postgraduate degree, buy a car, and build my dream home. But you know what's stopping me?
What's that, Mike?
Money, that be my biggest wahala.
Oh, you are sorted, cry. With a GCB Big Move personal loan promo, you can borrow up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours.
Like, seriously? How do I qualify?
Yes, it's available to all GCB salary account holders. Plus, you get a 2-month grace period before you start to pay back.
Susket, I'm opening an account with GCB now.
Get a personal loan of up to 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours. Call 0800-422-422 or visit your nearest GCB branch today to fund your next big move as we celebrate 70 years of greatness. T's and C's apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
KB, yo. KB, aka Kubeboga.
now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Wow! KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
There are some classy celebrations that call for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Tonight on Point Blank, we take you back to Parliament, where the House concluded debate on the President's State of the Nation address. We start with leadership. Minority Leader Dr. KCL Atuforsin concluded a debate for his side. After that, the Majority Leader had his turn. Let's hear Dr. Atuforsin first.
A recent Reuters report has projected that cocoa production will drop even further this year to 492,000 metric tons in this year, 2022-2023 crop season. This, Mr. Speaker, is half of the production of what President Mahama left behind in the year 2016. The state of our cocoa board today epitomizes the toxic mix of corruption and reckless mismanagement that this NPP government has served Ghanaians in several areas of the economy. Whereas the average expenditure on fertilizer and insecticides have increased astronomically, production drops, Mr. Speaker, and is dropping drastically. Mr. Speaker, the question is, when they buy these fertilizers and this insecticide, where are they applying? Where are they applying these fertilizers? Why is it that it is not corresponding to the yields that we are getting? Mr. Speaker, in the near future, we'll visit this. Mr. Speaker, over the last 8 years of Mills Mahama NDC government, the average expenditure on fertilizer and chemicals was 296 million Ghana cedis per annum. And then when we were in office, the average expenditure, Mr. Speaker, when we were in the office, the average expenditure on fertilizers and insecticides was 296 million per annum. This expenditure has increased astronomically to about 2 billion Ghana cedis per annum, yet cocoa production is dwindling. Mr. Speaker, Cocoa Board has now been reduced to a procurement entity for questionable contracts. Mr. Speaker, a recent audit report A recent audit report on the contracts awarded by the Ghana Cocoa Board reveals that 87% of cocoa roads were sole sourced, contrary to the promise made by this MPP government. Quite apart from that, the procurement breaches, this contract were inflated, according to the audit report, by over 100%. Mr. Speaker, I'm not the one saying it. It's the Auditor General saying this. Interestingly, Mr. Speaker, the Vice President, Alhaji Bawumia's brother and sisters and relatives were among the beneficiaries of this contract. Mr. Speaker, I am not the one saying it. The audit report is the one saying it. Mr. Speaker, Cocoa Board now relies on private license buying companies to pre-finance cocoa purchases, whilst the once viable PBC has now gone bankrupt. This, Mr. Speaker, is the true state of our cocoa sector. And Mr. Speaker, I would have wished that His Excellency the President would have been bold enough to give us this feedback. Mr. Speaker, this is the true state of our nation. The situation at the Ghana Cocoa Board is not particularly different from other SOEs. The story is the same at Gridco. The story is the same at Netco. The story is not different at VRA. The story is not different when you look at the balance sheet of GIHOC. STC is the same, Mr. Speaker. Ghana Airport Company is even worse. Mr. Speaker, this is the true state of our country. Mr. Speaker, the health of the central bank is no different. The Bank of Ghana is no different. The Bank of Ghana is now simply bankrupt and exists merely in name. Mr. Speaker, in the year 2022, the central bank recorded a colossal loss of about 60.8 billion Ghana cedis and a negative equity of 55 billion Ghana cedis. Bank of Ghana, Mr. Speaker, today is bankrupt. It's insolvent, simply put. Mr. Speaker, the governor of the Bank of Ghana and his two deputies illegally and excessively printed money to finance government over bloated expenditure. Right, Honorable Speaker, the governor of the Bank of Ghana and his two deputies, without recourse to this House, wrote off about 48.4 billion Ghana cedis of government debt. Mr. Speaker, that singular act is illegal. This, for me, is a cardinal sin. Monetary sin. It's a sin against basic economics. It's a sin against the laws of this country, and which this governor and his two deputies must be held accountable. Mr. Speaker, however long it takes, this matter must be revisited. Right, Honorable Speaker, good governance and the rule of law are equally at its lowest ebb. Mr. Speaker, the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government has championed the most unresponsive and insensitive governance in the history of this country. Gone are the days, Right Honorable Speaker, when presidents operated open-door policy and subjected themselves to transparency and accountability by the media through presidential press encounters. In the life of this government, presidential town hall meetings have become a thing of the past. This has effectively doomed any opportunity for citizens to hold the government accountable. Mr. Speaker, President Akufo-Addo's recent comment on his particular posture towards the legitimate concern and demands of Ghanaians, including traditional rulers, are unprecedented and most unfortunate. First, it was the president's tactless response to the chief of Aplao, Togbe Amenya Fiti, the fifth, when he called on him to see the completion of abandoned Aplao Community Senior High School. Mr. Speaker, in a rather bizarre and unpresidential response, our president told the chief to go ahead and complete the school himself if he so minded. Mr. Speaker, as if that was not appalling enough, the president counted voters in Kwabri East in the Ashanti region, a stronghold of the MPP, when they demanded that His Excellency the President and his Vice President take steps to construct their bad roads. Shockingly, to me and to most Ghanaians, President Akufo-Addo told them to go ahead and vote MPP out of office if they so please. Mr. Speaker, this is despicable and should not be encouraged. When President Akufo-Addo reluctantly visited the victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage at Mepe last year, Mr. Speaker, he literally told them that it was a waste of his time, considering that they did not vote for him and his party. Mr. Speaker, again, this is despicable and should not come from a president. Not too long ago, without any provocation, President Akufo-Addo directed his unpresidential remarks to the chiefs of Ekumfi in the central region. He told the chiefs and people of Ekumfi that this government, his government, decided to neglect them and halt development projects in that area because they voted his party's member of parliament out in the last general elections. So, Speaker, where did we go wrong? So, Speaker, why should this happen? And why should the president do this to the people of Ghana? Right, Honorable Speaker, some Ghanaians have unjustifiably, and the Speaker, demanded that this matter should be continued. And the Speaker, if you are to check the background of these Ghanaians who are making this call, they are largely supporters of the MPP government. Speaker, rightfully so, another group of Ghanaians are calling on His Excellency the President to be impeached on the back of some of these comments that he has made. The Speaker, they are only right. They are only right because, the Speaker, the President has no basis to do what he's been doing. Right, Honorable Speaker, media freedom has equally been spared in the last few years. The Speaker, media freedom is going haywire. The media has come under West's crackdown in the Fourth Republic as a state-sponsored attack on journalists and raids on media houses continue. The recent Press Freedom Index by Reporters Without Borders highlighted Ghana's decline in press freedom on the watch of President Akufo-Addo and his Vice President, Alhaji Bawumia. Whilst Ghana ranked second in Africa and 26th in the world on the Press Freedom Index in 2016, our dear country now ranks 9th in Africa and 62nd in the world in the year 2023. As we approach the 2024 general elections, the safety of journalists, the Speaker, remains a major concern. The corruption scorecard of this Akufo-Addo Bawumia government is as terrible as it can get. In fact, the evidence as supported by the public perception and the realities bears us out. As the Catholic Bishops' Conference put it rightly, there is a massive, uncontrolled corruption in this administration. The Speaker, this is according to the words of the Catholic Bishop Conference. Right, Honorable Speaker, Ghana has been declining in the Global Rule of Law Index from the rank of 34 in 2016 to 61 in 2023. In this government, corruption and impunity has taken place of the rule of law. The Speaker, corruption and impunity has replaced rule of law in this government. Rather, the fight against corruption has rather been defeated. Rather, Mr. Speaker, instead of this government fighting corruption head-on, as they promised, President Akufo-Addo and Alhaji Bawumia has fought and silenced and defeated most corruption fighters. Rather than making corruption a high-risk venture for government officials, they have made the fight against corruption a high activity for anti-corruption crusaders. So, Speaker, this is the true state of our governance. Right, Honorable Speaker, new scandals emerge every day, as if this government has been cursed with scandals. Every single day, there's a new scandal. So, Speaker, you recall that under the so-called revenue assurance and reckless, wasteful Akufo-Addo government has awarded a contract worth $100 million every year to a company called SML. The Speaker, when Parliament decided to investigate this matter, the President took over that matter and said he's investigating it in 2 weeks. The Speaker, as we speak, it's over a month, in fact, 6 weeks. Ghana is still waiting for the report. The Speaker, however long it takes, Parliament will do its work by investigating this dubious SML contract awarded by GRA and the Ministry of Finance. Last year, Mr. Speaker, we witnessed arguably the biggest man-made disaster that ever befell our nation as a result of the Akosombo Dam spillage. Many months on, Mr. Speaker, there has been no official assistance from the Akufo-Addo and Alhaji Bawumia government to the affected people of this disaster in all these places that this matter occurred. It has taken the instrumentality of members of parliament, largely from the NDC side, and generous Ghanaians, particularly businessmen and groups that kept on supporting this community. The affected communities and regions have yet to recover from this disaster. Yet, the disaster, as we see, the government of the day has not done anything for them. Mr. Speaker, and it was surprising to note that His Excellency the President failed to pronounce or make simple pronouncement on this matter during his message on the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, this is unacceptable. This is insensitive. Mr. Speaker, this is heartless. The legacy of the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government has been, Mr. Speaker, to overborrow. This government will be remembered for destroying indigenous banks. This government will be remembered for domestic and international haircuts. This government will be remembered for destroying many Ghanaian families through dreadful economic policies, particularly high taxes. So, Speaker, this is the true state of our nation. Our country is today bankrupt. Our country has today defaulted in the payment of its debts. So, Speaker, today, is the order of the day. We can't simply service our debt. So, Speaker, never in the history of our country have we gone to this level. So, Speaker, today we have a default economy. We have a haircut economy. We have a debt-riddled economy. We have an overtaxed economy. We have a high inflation economy. We have a high food inflation economy, a high monetary policy rate economy, a high lending rate economy, a high unemployment economy. Mr. Speaker, extremely high youth unemployment economy. Mr. Speaker, misery, in other words, ahochre is the order of the day. Mr. Speaker, misery, in other words, ahochre is the order of the day. The misery index has gone to the roof. Mr. Speaker, the misery only measures the level of ahochre in the system. Mr. Speaker, today, ahochre is the order of the day. Right Honorable Speaker, we have today a collapsed state-owned enterprise. Mr. Speaker, I've given you a list. We have today a cocoa sector that has been collapsed completely. Mr. Speaker, there is a massive uncontrolled corruption in this administration. Mr. Speaker, this is the true state of our country.
The same managers who today want to come back and lie to us. Only God knows how deep would have sunk into this global poly-crisis had it happened under the time when these leaders were in office. Mr. Speaker, the NPP under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, the man of possibility, Mr. Speaker, introduced prudent macroeconomic policies, introduced structural reforms from 2017 to put the economy back on track. Mr. Speaker, government abolished several nuisance taxes to reduce the tax burdens on the citizens and freed up resources for the growth of the private sector. Mr. Speaker, let me name them. They often forget. Dr. Forson, take away your phone, put your phone down and listen. I'm giving you the fact. I'm reminding you of your failures. I'm reminding you of the failures of JM. Removal of 1% special import levy. Exemption of the 17.5% VAT NHL on financial services. Exemption of the 17.5% VAT NHL on selected imported medicines which are not produced locally. Mr. Speaker, exemption of the 17.5% VAT NHL on domestic airline tickets, the removal of the 5% VAT NHL on real estate sales, removal of excise duty on petroleum, removal of duty on the importation of spare parts. Mr. Speaker, we restored the teacher training allowances that were cancelled. We restored the nursing training allowances that were cancelled. Mr. Speaker, we increased scholarship beneficiaries up to 70%. Mr. Speaker, we've extended an NHIS to cover sickle cell patients. Mr. Speaker, just for the avoidance of doubt, all these nuisance taxes that we came to deal with were introduced into this house by Dr. Atufosi. Mr. Speaker, he introduced them here. And Mr. Speaker, he debated vigorously to say that government needed these taxes. Why didn't you free the market? What else could you do? But we came as a government to take away all these taxes. We repealed them. These were taxes that you had introduced. Today, you come and you want to mislead government, you want to mislead Ghanaians and say that your government did better. Your government did what? What did your government do, Dr. Fossey? What did JM do in the 8 years? Mr. Speaker, let's deal with judgment debts. Mr. Speaker, historically, the pursuit of judgment debt from the state had become almost a cottage industry, and this was a time when we had individuals and entities frequently resorting to legal action to claim substantial sums purportedly owed to them by the government. High-profile cases, such as the Woyome scandal and the Isofoson case, exemplify a troubling era when the procurement of judgment debt seemed less about justice and more about exploiting systemic vulnerabilities for financial gain. These are not only Mr. Speaker, these do not only drain the government's finances, but also underscored a profound weakness in the state's legal defenses against such claims. However, Mr. Speaker, today, under Akufo-Addo, the tide has turned significantly in recent years, marking the end of what was once lucrative endeavor for opportunists. This pivotal change can be attributed to the relentless effort and strategic legal interventions by the Attorney General Godfred Dame. Under his stewardship, Mr. Speaker, the once rampant loss of money through judgment debts has been stoutly kept, showcasing a commendable shift towards safeguarding the public purse. The impact of Mr. Dame's work is not just remarkable, it is monumental. He has been instrumental in saving the state an astonishing 14 trillion Ghana cedis, a figure that not only dwarfs the previously mentioned 10 trillion in the State of the Nation address, but also highlights the extent of potential financial hemorrhage that had been averted. Mr. Speaker, through his selflessness and diligence, today we have saved the nation huge sums of money. We have. Mr. Speaker, we challenge you to put out your record in government when it comes to judgment debts. How much did you save? How much did you save? Mr. Speaker, let me now turn to the One District, One Factory initiative. Mr. Speaker, today we have this policy helping Ghanaians in the area of employment. I am able to emphasize, Mr. Speaker, that as Mr. President highlighted at page 24 in his address, the program has already borne considerable fruits with the development of 302 projects across the country. This ambitious endeavor has transcended, Mr. Speaker, into tangible reality, generating approximately 170,000 jobs and thereby making a significant dent on unemployment rate that have long challenged the nation. Mr. Speaker, in my own constituency, Mr. Speaker, there is an ongoing 1D1F, which is going to produce the raw material base for all tissue that we need in this country. Mr. Speaker, currently, all the tissue factories in Ghana import their raw materials.
You heard the majority leader, Alexander Apenyomarkin, concluding the debate on the President's State of the Nation address. Earlier, you heard Dr. Casey Latufosin, minority leader, also having a stake. This is how we conclude today's edition of the show. Show produced by Nana Kwabna Welsing, Bevlin Langdon, and Sami Wiafe. Technical assistance provided by Daniel Squashi. Social media support by Daniel Abugri and Edwin Kwakofi. Earlier you heard Akosia Ochri. My name is Salom Adonu. Up next is a playback of the Heritage Month series. After which, we'll bring you the live commentary of the match between Chelsea and Newcastle United. Have a good evening.